The Epstein scandals won't stop coming, and we won't stop talking about them because no matter how hard Donald Trump tries to distract, how much he does to cover up, we will not be silenced and will continue to push back. And it has been made really kind of easy with how poorly this administration has tried to hide Donald Trump's Epstein connection. And the new emails from Bloomberg released between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein that are blowing up this scandal even more and leading to a U.S. ambassador being fired. We're going to get into the emails and all that is going down right now. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into these leaked emails and what has happened because of them, I want to start with one of the best callouts of the Epstein cover-up I've heard so far. It's Congressman Dan Goldman right here.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. So now all of a sudden, the Republicans who were so aggressively intent on releasing the Epstein files because they were going to be a huge, explosive story about Democrats involved with Jeffrey Epstein are quiet. So the irony of these Republicans accusing the Democrats now of only being interested in this is for political purposes is so thick that it is almost sucking us into the quicksand. But let's go a step further. Let's go a step further. Because now the cover-up is getting so deep and so intense that this committee, which has oversight over the Department of Justice and would ordinarily be the one that is doing this investigation, is running away from it. Why? Because Chairman Comer is the useful idiot who will do the cover-up for Donald Trump. And what does that mean? Oh, well, now there is an oversight investigation, but you know what they're not asking for?
Those kind of comments, and he knows that. Gentleman's recognized.
Now, the oversight committee is doing an investigation, but you know what they're not asking for? You know what you did not put in the rule to confirm that investigation? We're not asking for the documents that were used to open the investigation, who provided the information. They're not asking for witness statements, victim witness statements. They're not asking for recordings that may exist. They're not asking for any of the evidence that might include Donald Trump.
This is the tone and the tenor we need to be bringing to every conversation around Epstein. Right now, the right is going to say that we can't have these conversations because after the killing of Charlie Kirk, our rhetoric is too inflamed. But I think seeking justice for victims of heinous crimes is not unsettling rhetoric, but is an active pursuit of the truth. And if you want us to give empathy to a man who spit vile bile for a living, then I think you should have empathy for the stories of these victims Donald Trump refuses to meet with or even acknowledge. But he's not the only one, because far-right conservative Nigel Farage, this is very important to the ambassador that was fired, was asked about Epstein when he appeared before Congress. It's important context.
List from coming out. You think the list should come out? You think we should know the people who dealt with Mr. Epstein, Mr. Farage?
I thought I was coming to a hearing on free speech, not process.
Oh, but listen, but here's the
And
good...
That sounds like you're discussing process.
No. Do you think the list should come out?
I have no opinion on it. I don't know at all.
So we have victims that were sexually abused by potentially people in power, and we don't know who's on the list.
I'm very happy.
Hold on, Mr. Farage. We don't know who's on the list. We don't know who's on the list. We don't know if the president is or is not. I'm not going to say he is or isn't. I'm just going to say these are weird behaviors. We don't know that there aren't other people in Congress that are on the list, right? We have no idea. Do you think the list should come out? You think people in power should be held to account for these victims who have been sexually abused and assaulted? You think the list should come out?
I think that I'm very happy to come to a different hearing where you talk about legal process.
Okay.
But today,
Will the gentleman yield for a quick question?
Were
you aware that he has already called for the Epstein file to be released?
So it's clear that Farage didn't want to upset Trump, but also is displaying how deep Epstein's connection is to so many pillars of power around the world. And that is what was very clearly revealed in new reporting from Bloomberg that resulted in a U.S. ambassador, an ambassador to the U.S., being fired by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK. And I want to take a look. Someone finally got fired for being friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Peter Mandelson, Britain's ambassador to the United States, was forced out over a 2008 email expressing remorse about the child trafficker's conviction. Britain's ambassador to the United States was fired after newly surfaced emails revealed the extent of his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Peter Mandelson, who stood down from his role as envoy to Washington by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, making him the first politician to be dumped over his friendship with the late offender. With the scandal threatening to overshadow Donald Trump's state visit to the UK next week, the British Foreign Office confirmed Mandelson's removal after Parliament was told Starmer had ordered the withdrawal with immediate effect. The diplomatic incident, which is still likely to cause headaches for both Starmer and Trump during the president's trip across the Atlantic, followed the release on Wednesday of bombshell messages sent by Mandelson before Epstein reported to jail in 2008 after his conviction for soliciting sex from a minor. The Foreign Office told the Daily Beast in a statement, in light of the additional information in emails written by Peter Mandelson, the Prime Minister has asked the Foreign Secretary to withdraw him as ambassador. The emails show that the depth and extent of Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is materially different from that known at the time of his appointment, the spokesperson said. In particular, Peter Mandelson suggested that Epstein, first convicted, was wrongful and should be challenged in new information. The spokesperson added, in light of that and mindful of the victims of Epstein's crimes, he has been withdrawn as ambassador with immediate effect. In an email sent to Epstein the day before he was jailed in 2008, Mandelson urged the disgraced financier to fight for early release and assured him that your friends stay with you and love you. It is certainly the case that Jeffrey Epstein's friends have stayed with him. And this comes in stark contrast to any action Donald Trump has taken, not just to refuse to hold accountable Epstein's associates, but to actively protect them. And why is that? Why is Donald Trump, why is Pam Bondi blocking a federal judge from releasing the name of two Epstein associates wired $100,000 and $250,000 respectively? Why? Because once you pull at that thread, it all unravels. Donald Trump is not just protecting himself, but protecting the other wealthy and well-connected abusers around Epstein in lieu of actual investigation. Why? Because he wants to make sure they don't speak out against him. Quietly, Donald Trump is doing these people favors so that we do not see the full extent of his crimes, which only makes it that much more important to investigate them. Ro Khanna is doing just that, and one of the main individuals responsible for making that birthday book public, and I want to hear what he had to say with Lawrence O'Donnell.
And if you have political context, you feel like you have license to do anything to abuse young girls. And this is about protecting children, and it's breaking through.
Does the estate possess more information that the committee might be trying to get?
They do, and we are not sure yet whether we've had a full document production. Ranking Member Garcia has done an excellent job. Chairman Comer has followed through with the subpoenas, but we need some more of the financial information. There's a lot of questions about who actually financed this, what bank accounts they were. They've produced some, but we need to see whether it was a full production. And then, of course, we need the release of the files. And, well, as you know, I'm confident we're going to get to 218 votes. We've got 4 Republicans. We've got 2 vacancies of Democrats who've said they're going to sign by September 23rd. And that means by the first week of October, we're going to have a vote in the House of Representatives to release these files. And then the pressure will be on the Senate. And that will be a big moment.
Did today's events possibly add to the momentum of the discharge petition?
It has, because what it has shown is that the White House is not being transparent. Now, you and I know that in a lot of cases, the White House hasn't been transparent. But this is something that so many people in his MAGA base are dialed into. Many people have been concerned about pedophiles not having accountability who voted for him. Many people thought he was going to expose the corruption in government. They are following this. And, yeah, some people may buy his explanation, but many are not buying it, and he's losing that trust. And so this is going to be a cry for transparency, that he's losing. For the first time, he's losing people in his base.
You know, knowing the Congress as I do, having worked there for a while.
For a great one.
The one thing, you know, in the Senate, the minority has some power because of the 60-vote threshold and where that can be applied. But when I watched the House of Representatives from my distance on the Senate staff, I always looked at the minority in the House of Representatives, and no fault to the minority, but completely powerless, like in the minority of a Soviet-style institution, like nothing they could do. And what I have seen you and Congressman Garcia and the Democrats on this committee accomplish just in the last few months on this committee is the most powerful demonstration of an incredible accomplishment in a minority that I've seen in the House.
Well, I think it's the issue. The reality is I've been in Congress 9 years. We have never passed a discharge petition in those 9 years. Everyone threatens a discharge petition, and it doesn't go anywhere. I give Congressman Massey credit for crossing the aisle. But the reality is, if we as a country can't agree on this issue, that we want to stand with survivors, that we want to protect America's children, we're lost as a nation. And so what you've seen is people like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, show courage in crossing the aisle. You've shown Jim Comer, who I think was moved by this testimony, and it's the one time that we actually can get something done through the minority that is something that the whole country wants.
Congressman Ro Khanna, an honor to have you here in the studio in New York. Really appreciate you making the effort, and thank you very much for joining us tonight and for continuing to pursue this.
It's my honor. I came here to thank your team and you for what you did, and your viewers should know that. There's a lot of people that they watch this and they say, okay, your commentary, this was substantive. And the survivors, you made a difference in their lives, and the journalists who work for you made a difference. And I appreciate that.
It really was a team. Booking Bradley Edwards on this show, which was the breakthrough booking, was not my idea and not my doing. That was Amy Schuster and the staff and Melissa. And the team that put that together and that night together deserves all the credit.
It's changed the whole course. We wouldn't have had the press conference. The survivors wouldn't have been there. The birthday book wouldn't have been there. They deserve credit. There are a lot of times I know people get criticism. I'm here today in person because I wanted to thank them, your whole team, for the work they've done.
The pressure must continue, not just in the media, but from members of Congress who are bravely taking on this fight. I commend Ro Khanna, Robert Garcia, Thomas Massey, those who have spoken out, and we will continue to back them, elevate their message, and fight as well. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.